Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Mana Cave. My name is Ed.
My name's Travis.
Travis,
Yo.
we, in the previous episode, the first episode back in almost a year, we talked a lot.
Did you get the time code as to how long it was?
Well, it was, the recording time was like an hour and a half sort of thing. We finished it, you guys don't know this, but we finished it right as the camera above us ran out. That usually runs out in about an hour and a half. And for those of you who haven't seen the previous episode, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it was a lot of talking. So we're going to try to, as I'm talking constantly, we're going to try to limit the talking to a certain degree. So we're just going to jump right into it. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
What are we doing today?
We're continuing the Planeswalker Deck Challenge Season
4. Yes. Yeah. Which stopped quite a while ago. This is the somewhat semifinals because it was a weird sort of matchup because Teferi had a bye. So Teferi is going to play whoever wins this match. And this match is against, I'm playing Basri, and you are...
Garruk.
So it's mono white versus mono green. These decks go back to M21, which doesn't sound like a long time ago because it's 2021, but the way the core sets work, that was an entire year ago. Or in Magic terms, when it comes to releasing sets, 47 years ago.
Yeah.
Because they're already promoting new sets, even though the last video is currently the newest set.
It is.
So it's been a while, but we're continuing on with the Planeswalker Deck Showdown. Hopefully, there's still interest in it. I'm not sure what other ones we're going to do in the future. We have to finish off the guild kits.
Yep.
From a billion years ago.
Don't remember who's left in that one, but that's still a thing.
I would love to get the new Challenger decks. But we'll see if that ends up happening or not. So, anyways, should we just get to it?
Sure.
Okay. Now, did you have to mulligan?
I did not. I have actually a decent curve.
Is that it? Oh, I thought you was good.
I was looking up a fat joke. I'm like, don't start with, that. There's a good curve.
No? Okay. No. And I did mulligan.
Yeah.
So I too have a good curve. I don't know why we're pausing after that. But we did not roll to see who goes first, so let's go ahead and do that.
2d6.
2d6, beat a 7, and you crushed it.
Did.
With an 11.
56 if like that way, but
Now, I don't know about you, but I have no recollection whatsoever what's in this deck. So there might be some reading that we're going to surprise ourselves with during the game.
When I was looking at the cards right away, I kind of saw what the hint was. And I remember Garruk, it's all about big creatures and payoffs for big creatures. So,
and though I don't quite remember this is a mono-white Planeswalker deck, so it's probably just going to be mostly life gain.
Life gain or +1 counters.
Or +1 counters, yeah, because that seems to be all they do with a lot of the decks that have one. I'm just going to set that to the side there.
Fair enough.
Let's just dig in. So you get to go first, sir.
All right.
Our opening hands would have been displayed on screen at this point, I'm sure.
I will play in my mono green deck a forest, and I do not, even though I have a good curve, I do not have a turn 1.
So it's not that good.
Well, it's not great. I don't know if these are even turn 1s in here. Or 1/1s for 1. Yes, it's your turn. Yeah.
I draw a card. I play a Plains in the mono white deck. I turn it sideways because my curve makes your curve look like a square.
How much life do you gain?
None yet, but that's right, we got to read the card. Speaker of the Heavens. It is a 1/1 human cleric with vigilance and lifelink. And I can tap it to create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. Activate this ability only if you have at least 7 more life than your starting life total, and only anytime you can cast a sorcery. So if I can start getting that life gain going, I'm going to start cranking out 4/4 angels.
1 in turn. At sorcery speed.
Yeah, at sorcery speed. But still, hey, it's pretty good. This is a rare. Your turn. I'll pass it to you.
You did draw for your turn?
I did draw, yes. Okay.
Yeah. I'm drawing... Ooh, there's a creature. So I'm going to play my second forest. I'm going to tap both those. 2 mana for the Drowsing Pteranodon. It's a 3/3 with Defender. Wah, wah. However, as long as I control a creature with power 4 or greater, Drowsing Drowsing Pteranodon can attack it, so it didn't have Defender.
Oh.
So right away, that's basically the entire deck laid out in words. Creature power 4 or greater.
Yeah.
Which it's close. But
Right now it's just a S3/3 wall, essentially, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you know.
But it stops my 1/1 with Vigilance.
It does. No haste in my Defender. So I will pass back to you.
So untap and draw. I'm going to play Planes. The one single special Planes that comes with these particular Planeswalker decks. And I'm going to turn them sideways. And
oh, that is nice Planes.
I'm going to play a Tempered Veteran. It is a human knight. It's a 1/2. I can pay 1 white and tap it to put a 1/1 counter on target creature with a 1/1 counter on it already. Or I should say, I can pay 4 and 2 white, tap it, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. So once I get 6 mana, I can just start, I can put 1 counter on there, and then it only costs 1 after that. So pretty nice. I'm not going to attack because I respect the life of my Speaker of the Heavens. And pass turn to you.
Untap. Draw. Third land. Who's this guy? I'm also reading too. He don't interest me at this moment. Who does is this creature. Tapping 3 for the Pride Malkin. Pride Malkin? Pride Malkin. It's a cat. It's a 2/1 cat. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1 counter on target creature I control. Each creature I control with a +1 counter on it has trample. Now, I'm going to assume I did this right. So I'm going to read this once more. I read it in my head.
Okay.
As long as you control a creature with power 4 or greater.
Yes.
So he now has power 4 or greater. Doesn't say another creature.
He does, yes.
So now he loses Defender, or he can attack. Doesn't lose a Defender, I should specify.
Yes.
But he can attack as though he didn't have it.
Yes.
That might matter if you're playing a Defender Matter decks, because he still has it. Now he's a 4/4, and he has trample because of that +1 counter.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to combat.
Sure.
With my mighty 4/4 with trample.
Your turn sideways. And I will take 4. So I'm down to 16.
You got a plan then. You want to throw anything under the bus there?
Nah.
I did tap.
Not against a trampley creature.
Well, exactly. Because I'd still, no matter what, right through. I passed you while I read this guy who I just drew. This actually also includes cards from the Theros block.
I'm going to play a Plains. And I'm going to tap for 3 and bring out Makeshift Battalion. It's a 3/2 human soldier, and whenever Makeshift Battalion and at least 2 other creatures attack, put a +1/+1 counter on Makeshift Battalion. So there we go. There's that. That is going to be my entire turn. Pass it to you.
All right. Untapping stuff and drawing other stuff. Yes. Fourthlandia.
There we go.
The magical land of Fourthlandia. I'm going to tap 2. That's instant, but I think I'm still going to do it now. For Ram Through. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. If this creature you control has trample, excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead.
Nice.
So I'm going to target your 3/2.
Okay.
So it does have a +1 counter. It does have trample because of that. So this is like a triple synergy combo because he's giving it the trample. Otherwise he wouldn't have the trample.
Well, he gave it the trample. He's not giving it, right?
No, this doesn't, but he says yes.
Yeah.
So much synergy going on here.
Now, it deals damage? Doesn't fight it, right?
It does not fight
so
it.
it hasn't taken any damage.
Very important. And then you take
And I'm going to take
2.
1. Oh, 2, that's right. That's because of the trample. So I'm down to 14.
Pretty good, huh? And it was instant, but still it made more sense pre-combat, I feel. Because then I'm going to do this. Tap 2 for the Nessian Hornbeetle. Hornbeetle, ladies and gentlemen. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, put a +1 counter on Nessian Hornbeetle.
You had like the nuts opening hand for this. This is crazy.
Drawn these 2 actually.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I had other good cards, but
wow.
Because this actually, I was afraid was going to stick around and just be a competent blocker for a bit.
And then you top deck the one thing you needed for that. That's great.
It is pretty great. I'm going to go to combat on my turn.
Okay, so that triggers at the beginning of combat, correct?
And you put a +1 counter on the Nessian Hornbeetle.
Okay.
And now he has trample because of that creature.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm not going to attack with that. I'm just going to attack with my 4/4.
Just with your 4/4. I'm not going to block anything. at this point. So I'm just going to take 4.
Yep.
Okay. So that puts me down to 10. This is not going good. It's not going good.
I'm tapped out, so I pass back to you.
Pass back to me. Draw. Okay. I'll play a Plains. I'm going to tap for 2. And I'm going to play Adherent of Hope. It's a 2/1 human soldier. At the beginning of combat on my turn, if I control a Basri Planeswalker, put a +1/+1 counter on Adherent of Hope. So that's pretty much all I'm going to do, and I'm going to pass the turn back to you.
All right. Untap again. Draw again. Playing another Forest. I'm going to go to combat, which is going to trigger this guy here, the Nestian Hornbeetle, so he's going to get another +1 counter, making him also a 4-power creature.
Nice.
And then I'm going to go to combat.
Sounds good.
I'm going to swing with everything.
With everything?
So, which is a 4/4, a 2/1, and a 4/4.
Now, these both have trample, right?
They both have trample.
They have trample because of the kitty cat.
Because of the kitty cat. It's so proud, this proud necklace.
Kitty cat does not have trample right now.
Kitty cat does not have trample, but it's only 2/1.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to put the Tempered Veteran in front of the kitty cat.
Okay, 2/1, 1/2.
Yes.
2/1 trade action there.
Now, do you have shenanigans?
I have no shenanigans.
Okay, so damage goes through.
Yep.
These trade, correct?
Yep.
And I'm taking 8, which puts me down to 2.
What?
Yep.
All right. Second main phase. I'm going to tap 5.
Ooh, this does not sound good.
Garruk's Warsteed. It's a 3/5 with vigilance. It's the rare, and when Garruk's Warsteed enters the battlefield, I may search my library and/or graveyard for a card named Garruk Savage Herald. Reveal it, put it in your hand. If you did, search your library this way. Shuffle it.
Excellent. So that's the tutor card from the Planeswalker deck.
Otherwise, it's a 3/5 with vigilance. Which is so weird that it's a 3/5 with vigilance. This whole deck is really based off of power 4 or greater. So it's a little weird. Was he like next? Oh, he was not next. Is he in here? Oh, yes, he's like 4th in the bottom. Okay. We used to begin these actually by reading off the Planeswalker in them, but
I think in the past we've done that the first time we played the decks, but I don't think we do it in. I mean, it's been so long, we might as well, right? But you can go ahead and read them off now, just in case, because it's going to cost 6 to get out, so you might be able to get them out next turn if you have one more land. But
yeah. So legendary Planeswalker Garruk, for 6 mana, comes in with 5 loyalty. His +1 is reveal a top card of your library. If it's a creature card, put it into your hand. Otherwise, put it on the bottom of your library. His -2 target creature controls deals damage equal to its power to another target creature, which is essentially very similar to Ram Through on a stick. No trample shenanigans there, but that's a -2. -7, until your next turn, creatures you control gain. You may have this creature assign its combat damage as though it weren't blocked. Not a bad -7. I'm going to cut myself after that. So, shuffled. He goes into my hand.
Yeah.
Not in the battlefield. Shucks, huh? And yeah, 3/5 with vigilance. Otherwise, he's there.
He doesn't have trample, though, right?
No.
So does anything have trample right now?
Nothing's got trample.
Okay.
Nothing has trample, Ed.
All because of the kitty cat.
Yep.
Okay.
And I just threw that cat right under the bus.
Yes, you did.
Your turn.
Which makes me worried. Draw. Oh, come on. Planes for the 4th turn in a row. Yeah, I'm going to pass the turn to you.
Untap. I need a land here if I want to play Garruk. I did get a land, but I have something better than Garruk. I'm just going to tap 3 for Garruk's Uprising. Which, when it enters the battlefield, if I control creature power 4 or greater, I draw a card. So I'll draw that. It's an enchantment, by the way, 3 mana. Second mode of the enchantment, which apparently has many a mode in this enchantment, creature to control a trample. Which is why I so easily threw that cat under the bus, because I knew I had that one in hand.
Oh, man.
And the final mode of this Planeswalker / just enchantment that has 3 modes, Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. All for 3 mana.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
But right now, I'm primarily going with the trample thing.
Yeah. I have another Plains in hand, and then my 6-cost Planeswalker, so... yeah.
I mean, you guys see both cards, Planeswalker cards, but...
Yeah. I mean, the reason why I mulliganed at the beginning was because I was like, oh, I only have 2 land. I really need to try to get a 3rd land.
Nothing but.
So that was a shellacking.
Yeah.
As the saying goes. Trample is so difficult. And to get that down, I was like, okay, great, defender. I can't attack, but at the very least it's not doing anything until the very next turn.
And that worked so well, because I really thought this might be around till, obviously, at least turn 4 or so to get a 4 power.
See, I thought you were drawing into land. I didn't realize you drew into the... I thought the one thing that you had... I thought maybe you had 2 land, and you were excited to draw into land, but in the meantime, you drew into, like, the absolute nuts. So...
Even Nessian Beetle. I mean, technically, actually, we got another counter that other turn, but... That doesn't matter.
That's great. That was. I couldn't get anything going. I thought I had a very nice curve going into it, but yeah, I could not keep up with that. So.
And I like how I was able to throw my cat under the bus because I had a backup for my cat's
I knew you had to have something. I knew you had to have something because there's no way you were going to give up trample when I had 2 blockers on the board. So, but yeah, just out of curiosity, another land, another land.
What?
Another land. And a 1-drop. So, that, I don't feel quite as bad now. It wasn't like, oh, the answer was hiding right there. But, Travis.
Yes?
You won the first game of the best 2 out of 3. So, we are going to continue on with the Planeswalker Deck Showdown right now. And we're back in the second game of the Planeswalker Deck Showdown. 4th season. I don't know what round it is. But, you won the previous game.
I did.
And quite handily, by the way. And that means I get to go first. Now, did you mulligan?
There was no mulliganing here whatsoever.
I did. So I'm down to 6. But I don't think I had a whole lot of choice. So we're just going to see how this goes. And hopefully it's not quite as
I can
lopsided as the last game.
Pretty much guarantee you I don't have quite the insane combo start, the 3-card even going there. But
well, we'll see. Planes, to start things off, it's crazy. I'm going to tap it or turn it sideways, and I'm going to bring out the Anointed Chorister. It's a 1/1 human cleric. It has a lifelink. For 4 and 1 white, it gets +3/+3 into the end of turn. That's my whole turn.
Gotta watch out for that.
Pass it to you, sir.
I will draw, play a forest, and once again, not have a turn 1 play, so I'll pass back to you.
So I'm guaranteed, well, not necessarily, because I don't know what else you have in hand, but I'm almost guaranteed to get at least 1 damage through this time, which I'm kind of excited about. Let me just read this card, because it's been ages. Okay. I'm going to play Plains. I'm going to move to combat.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn my 1/1 with lifelink sideways.
Lifelink. So I'll go down to 19. And
I go up to 21. And I'm going to turn 2 Plains sideways, and the Adherent of Hope again, 2/1. If I get a Basri Planeswalker, that card will start doing something.
Look out.
I'm going to pass the turn down to you.
Alright. I will draw. I will play another forest. Tapping both of those forests for the little insect we saw last time. The Nessian Horn Beetle. Who, at the beginning of combat on my turn, if I control a creature power 4 or greater, I put a +1 counter on him. Back to you.
Back to me. Okay. I'm going to play a Plains.
You seem confused there.
Again, it's been forever since I've played these decks. I'm going to move to combat.
Okay.
I'm going to swing in with the 2/1, the Adherent of Hope.
No blocks.
No blocks. Okay. No. So you're taking 2.
Taking 2. Hoping to grow my beetle.
Second main phase.
Down to 17, by the way.
Turn 2 sideways down to 17. And I'm going to play another Adherent of Hope.
That's going to keep you off that Planeswalker.
I'm going to pass the turn to you.
Okay. Untap. Draw. Here's a card. 1 more forest. Okay. We're going to tap all 3.
Ooh.
for the Wildwood Patrol. It is a 4/2 with trample.
Nice.
So I'm going to combat, and then beginning combat on my turn, if I control a creature with power 4 or greater, I put a 1/1 counter on my Nestian Hornbeetle.
Indeed.
Now I can straight up swing through. There's no trample, but he can double block and kill my Hornbeetle, but I would kill 2 of his, so I am going to go to combat and swing on through.
So that is a 3/3, correct?
It is a 3/3. But it will only get bigger.
I'm going to block with the Adherent of Hope.
Okay.
And then pre-damage.
A combat
I'm going to turn a plane sideways and cast Fight as 1. Choose one or both. It's an instant. Target human creature gets +1/+1 and gains indestructible at the end of turn. Or target non-human creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains indestructible at turn. This is a human, so I'm going to do that one. So it's going to become a 3/2 with indestructible until the end of turn.
and beetle down.
I was really hoping I could do that with the Anointed Chorister because it would gain me some life, but I'm not going to complain.
Pass back to you.
Pass back to me. Okay. That's a 4/2 though, right?
It's a 4/2.
I'm going to play a Plains. I'm going to tap for 4. And I'm going to cast a sorcery. Basri's Aegis, I think is the pronunciation. Or Aggies, I'm not sure. For 2 and 2 white, I can put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. I may search my library and or graveyard for a card named Basri. Devoted Paladin, reveal it, and put it into my hand. If I search my library this way, I must shuffle it. So even though Basri costs 6, his tutor costs 4. Don't understand why they did that. But I'm going to put the +1/+1 counters on... I'm going to put 1 on the Anointed Chorister, and I'm going to put 1 on the Adherent of Hope. And I'm going to search my library for Basri. There he is. Basri. So I'll just read them off quickly. For 4 and 2 white, it's a 4 loyalty Planeswalker. The +1 ability is put a +1/+1 counter and up to 1 target creature. It gains vigilance at the end of turn. -1 is whenever a creature attacks this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And the -6 is creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain flying until the end of turn. So not great for 6, but not the worst Planeswalker they ever came out with. So that is done. That goes into my hand, not the battlefield, sadly. This goes to the graveyard. That 4/2 has trample, correct?
It does.
I'm going to move to combat.
Okay.
And I'm going to actually swing in with the Adherent of Hope. The 2/2/1.
Okay. No blocks.
No blocks.
So once again, take 2 down to 15.
That's my turn.
Okay.
I'll pass it to you, sir.
Untap. Draw. Play a forest. Go to combat.
Okay.
Swing in.
You know what? I'm not going to block.
No blocks? Okay.
No blocks. So I'm going to take 4.
Take 4.
I'm down to 17.
So I'm going to tap 1, 2, 3 for another Wildwood Patrol. And tap 1 for, apparently I do have a 1/1 for 1.
Oh.
The Almighty Bushwag, who is a 1/1 with trample, but for 4 mana, you can get +3/+3 until end of turn.
I thought you were just calling it the Almighty Bushwag. That's what its actual name is.
Brushwag.
Brushwag, okay.
Yeah, it is creature type Brushwag.
But I didn't know Almighty is actually part of the name. So
Oh, yeah. No.
Okay, there we go. Oh, well, there we
I
go.
wouldn't lie about that kind of thing.
But
you know.
what is its ability?
So it's 1/1 with trample, and for 3 and a green, so 4 total, he or she gets +3/+3 until the end of turn.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's good.
Brushwag.
Is it my turn? Untap.
You better believe it's your turn. Look at all the power I got on board.
I'm going to play Plains.
Oh, no Basri this turn. Next turn.
I'm
Dangerous.
going to move to combat.
Okay.
And I'm going to swing in with the team.
Believe it or not, no blocks this turn.
Okay, so prior to damage, I'm tapping for 5 to give this +3/+3. So it's going to be a 5/5.
Okay.
So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 damage, and I gain 5.
I drop down to 5.
So I'm up to 22. And now I'm terrified because you did not block at all, and I'm scared about what you have.
To be honest, I thought you had like one trick or something like that, and I just wanted to keep my creatures. But that that hurt, and you did pretty good off of that. So
yeah, so I pass the turn now to you.
Okay. Untap. 5th land, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Step 1, something I should have done a long time ago, is we're going to cast Ram through. So I'm going to target creature I control, which would be the Wildwood Patrol.
Okay.
Is going to fight or deal damage equal to that. Now, so it's 4 damage. The Wildwood Patrol does actually have trample, so I'm just going to hold priority on myself, if I can do that. Is that how that works? Well, I think of something here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Think, Walters, think. I don't know if this is the right move, but I'm curious to do this just to see if it happened. So I'm also going to cast Titanic Growth on the same creature.
Okay.
So it's going to become now an 8/6.
Okay.
Okay. So go back. So this then resolves.
Yes.
Goes back to Ram.
And again,
through.
this is a one-way direction of damage. So
Yeah.
I don't gain any life from him doing this. This is going to die. And I'm going to take, personally, 6 damage, because 6 damage is going to bleed through, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So that puts me down to 13. 13? 6, 4, 16. Puts you down to 16. 22. Took 6. 16. Okay.
Okay.
Now that's an 8.
Now that's an 8.
An 8, 6.
8/6. Yeah. So I think that was a good move. I mean, you obviously want a combat trick to be more tricky than that, but this way I basically almost get like the double.
Yeah,
assuming I attack and assuming I deal damage.
It's such a crazy. It's almost like a red spell. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's because it's such great directed. I mean, granted, it has to have trample, but I think everything in your deck seems to have, even the almighty brush wag has it. So
So then we're going to go to combat.
okay.
So he still has 8 power.
Yes.
But since my life total is dangerously low, I unfortunately have to save some blockers because I know they're probably getting counters next turn. So I'm just attacking with the 1.
Attacking with the 1.
Was 8
Okay.
power.
So I'm down to 8 though. That was quite the reversal of fortune.
Cost me 2 cards though. But
Still,
at least I got rid of the lifelinker.
It was good. You got rid of the lifelinker, which
Which
the
I-
lifelinker that could grow on demand. So
Yeah. All right, so I leave myself 1 mana and 2 blockers. Pass back to you.
back to me. Okay.
And hope you don't top deck of planes. Again, if it was a planes, I'm pretty sure it would have went straight down.
Oh, these are untapped as well too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Because I know the other card is Basri himself.
I'm gonna. It's a 1/1 and a 4/2, correct?
Correct. But it's only 5 life. You know you got to go for it, right?
Now I'm showing 5 damage, so if I swing in, you have to block at least one of them. That's a definite.
Yeah.
And you don't have 6 yet, which is no. You only need 4 in order to make that grow.
So in theory, I can activate next turn. I could have. That was the thing. I did enough to do one of those 2 spells and activate him, but I really wanted to just Titanic Growth him and get that double trample essentially through, because that just seemed like a fun thing to do.
I thought it was fun. It was a whole lot of fun. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna turn them both sideways. I'm gonna swing them both. I'm gonna swing them with the team. So a 2/1 and a 3/1.
2/1 and a 3/1.
So 5 damage representing. You've got 5 health left. So now I've just basically left the decision up to you as to what should be done.
The real question is that 5 mana. Did you draw 1 card that can buff a creature by 3? I I'm saying you did not draw a card that can buff a creature by 3. That's what I'm saying. So I'm blocking 1 there.
Now this is the 2/3 or the 3/2, just so you know. Okay,
so it's just a chump block.
Okay, so damage.
Damage.
Okay, so that dies. 2 damage goes through.
Yeah. So we're down to 3.
Both my guys are turned sideways.
Bolt range.
So I'm gonna tap for 5 now on my second main phase, and I'm gonna cast the Aven Gaggle Master. It's a 4/3 bird warrior with flying, and when it enters the battlefield, I gain 2 life for each creature you control with flying. So it counts itself. Nothing else has flying, so I'm going to gain 2 life. I'm going to go up to 10.
That's still 2 life. That's a lot of life right now.
So I'm going to now pass the turn to you.
So even if I draw what I need to draw, which I didn't, that doesn't quite matter. Now I'm down to 3. Full-on attack here, at most unblocked, only does 8.
Unless you have shenanigans.
But no matter what, I can't block a flyer. Nothing here has reach, right? Nothing here has reach.
Got to turn them both sideways, right?
Got to turn both sideways.
Okay, so they both have trample.
They both have trample.
So even if I were to block 1, I would still be taking at least 1 from that creature. Then it would trade, most likely, and that would leave me with my 2 creatures up, and I'd be taking 5 in total. So that would put me down to 5. That would leave me with lethal on board, but the idea I have to have now is that if you have something that can pump the creatures, I might be dead anyways, depending on how much it can pump it. If you don't have anything to pump with creatures, and I put this bird in front of it, I've thrown away my best chance of actually winning next round. So, I'm going to actually... I'm not going to block.
Okay.
Damage goes through?
Damage goes through.
So I'm down to 2.
I tap 4 for the Ornery Dilophosaur, who does not have reach. But he's a 2/2 with Death Touch.
Yeah. What other stuff does he have?
Whenever he attacks, if I control a creature power 4 or greater, he gets +2/+2 in a turn.
Okay.
So, no, he fights somebody upon entry or anything like that.
Okay.
Has to.
Okay. So, calculated risk, and move to combat.
Move to combat.
I'm going to swing in just with my bird.
Yeah, nothing. I did have Garruk. If I had drawn another land instead of that, I could have fought, but I was still... That's still only been 8 damage going through.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they have Vigilant and Trample.
It was a weird sort of risk on my part, but I had to go for it. So
no, it paid off.
And it worked out. And also as well to keep in mind, if this thing didn't have its extra ability of gaining 2 life, I would have died with that combat anyways, right? So that was by the skin of my teeth. Making it through.
So I believe I did have Ram through in my opening hand, and I believe one of my first things intense was to take care of that lifelinker before things got even a few rounds of 1 or 2 damage.
Yeah.
That probably would have made the difference, is taking that guy out early. I mean, I like what I did with it. It was still fun to pump it and dump through a whole bunch of damage.
I was super, super worried because I basically top decked this on the turn that I played it. So if that hadn't shown up, after that ram through with all that damage, I thought I was dead. So it does go to a third game. Again, I'm not super crazy about my chances because I don't think this is as strong as the Garruk deck, but we'll see right now. And we're back in the third and deciding game of this Planeswalker Deck Showdown match. Travis, I was able to actually win that last one by the narrowest of margins. So you get to go first. So play away, my friend.
I will play a forest, and I will not follow that forest up with an almighty brushwag. I'll just pass it to you.
Okay. You'll regret that. I'm going to play a Plains, turn it sideways, and bring out an Anointed Chorister, which we saw before, the 1/1 with lifelink and a bit of extra shenanigans later on. So pass the turn to you.
Okay. I will draw this time. I will play forest. Tap those 2 for the Ilisan. It's 2 eyes. 2 eyes Ilisan Carotid. So it is a 1/1 plant, and I can tap it, and if I control to add 1 mana of any color, if I control a creature with power 4 or greater, I add 2 mana of any color instead.
Nice. That's a mana dork.
It's a mana dork, possibly better, possibly worse. It's in somewhere in between.
Depends.
Then I pass back to you, sir.
Back to me. Draw. Play a plains. I'm going to see how badly you want your mana dork. I'm going to move to combat.
Okay.
I'm going to swing in with the chorister.
I want it bad. I drop down to 19.
And I go up to 21.
My high mana deck wants mana.
I'm going to turn a plane sideways, and I'm going to play a second Anointed Chorister.
That lifelink.
Pass the turn to you, sir.
Untap. Draw. Man, it's going to become really obvious as to why I want that. Don't like doing this. Don't like doing this at all. Tapping for green, green, and green. To play Garruk's Uprising.
Oh.
3 mana, so I get that. And when it enters the battlefield, if I control a creature power for 4 or greater, draw a card. I don't. Creatures I control have trample, and whenever creature power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under my control, I draw a card.
Okay.
And then I pass to you.
Pass to me. Okay.
So I think I might want to draw that card next turn if I play a creature power for 4 or greater.
I'm going to play a plains. I'm going to move to combat.
Okay.
And I'm going to swing in with 2 1/1 life linkers.
No blocks, dropping to 17.
Going up to 23.
Power later.
That's all I'm going to do this turn, so I'll pass it to you.
Oi. All right. Untap. Draw. Okay. So we're going to tap 2. And that for 3. 3 green. For Garruk's Harbinger. It is a 4/3 rare. Hexproof from black. So that's there. Whenever Garruk's Harbinger deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, look at that many cards from the top of your library. You may reveal a creature card or Garruk planeswalker card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest in the bottom of your library in random order. It does trigger that because it's a creature power 4 or greater.
Yeah. So you get to draw a card.
Yeah, I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I'm nowhere near discarding. He's a 4/3, and I pass to you.
Pass to me. Okay.
Do not like missing land drops here, but you know.
But you have that with it's even ramped up a bit more, right? So I'm going to play a plains. It's a 4/3.
Yes.
Hexproof
From black.
Hexproof from black.
Not from you.
Oh, okay. And then...
So it has trample, though, because of this.
Yeah.
And whenever it deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, look at that many cards. So again, if it tramples 2 for 3, or for 2 damage over, I look at 2 cards. I may reveal a creature card or a Garruk planeswalker from among them, put them in my hand, the rest at the bottom of my library.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to swing with my 1/1s on that thing, so I will pass the turn to you now.
Okay. Untap. Joy. We're good here. We're good. So we are going to go to combat. And we're going to attack.
Okay. I'm going to double block.
Double block? Okay. I am going to tap 2 for, because it is 2 mana now because he's power 4 greater.
Yeah.
For Titanic Growth, making him an 8/7 with trample and all that other stuff.
I tap for 1 and cast Fight as 1 to give this one +1/+1 and indestructible.
Okay.
So it's not going to matter. There's still going to be a lot that's going to trample through.
Yeah.
But at least it's theoretically going to live. So, damage.
I'm thinking. Yes. We'll go to damage.
Okay, so I can absorb 3 of this damage. But that means I'm still taking 4. And that's going to trigger 4 cards deep for you?
Still taking...
5, right? Because it's 8. It's an 8.
It's
currently
8/7.
an 8/7.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm taking 5. That's going to put me down to 18.
Okay.
I'm going to lose this guy. Oh, wait. Put me down to 18, and then I'm going to gain 3 back. So it's going to put me to 21. Okay.
Okay.
So now you get to look at the top 5 cards of your library?
And reveal a creature or Garruk Planeswalker.
Okay.
So does it say reveal or look? Pardon me. Look at that many cards.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Man, if these were all forced, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to reveal a Wildwood Patrol.
Okay.
It's that 4/2 with trample and everything.
Okay.
Go in my hand. These will go, pretty sure it says random order. Yes, it does say random order, because that's the new thing now. Random order. Bottom of my library. Okay. So that's happened. Damage has happened.
Yes, indeed.
We're in my second main phase. And I will tap 2 for the Nessian Hornbeetle. It's a 2/2 and begin combat on my turn. If I control another creature power 4 or greater, I get to play +1 counter on the Nessian Hornbeetle.
Now, luckily for me, we've already passed combat on your turn, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. My turn?
Your turn.
This is going to be an interesting game, I think. Draw. I'm going to play a Plains. You have a lot that relies on you having a creature with power 4 or greater, right?
I do.
That thing is going to keep allowing you to look for more stuff.
If there's any consolation, I'm not going to find a lot of exciting stuff, because I think he is the exciting thing, ironically. But it is almost draw a card, essentially.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to do it now, because it's allowing you to ramp, and it's allowing that thing to do shenanigans as well, too. I'm tapping for 2, and I'm going to cast an instant on my main phase called Swift Response. Destroy target tapped creature. So I'm going to destroy that. Because it's hexproof to black, right? Not hexproof.
Hexproof to black,
Okay,
yeah.
so that can go through. So that's destroyed. Now, it leaves me 3 land up. I'm going to do nothing. I'm going to pass the turn to you.
Okay.
I don't know if that was the right thing to do. See, there's something to be said for waiting for his turn, but the problem is that once you hit your combat phase, even before your combat phase, this can now tap for 2 because you had a 4-power creature. Once you hit combat, that's going to get a +1/+1 counter. So my window of doing something and affecting your board in any reasonable way is very narrow anyway. So I'm kicking myself now for doing it. Then we'll see if it worked out. So
Fair enough.
sorry,
No.
I was trying to explain myself.
So it was not the worst thing, because now this only taps for 1. So I am tapping for 3 to play the Wildwood Patrol.
Yeah.
It's going to trigger Garruk's Uprising, so I will draw a card.
Mm-hmm.
I will play a forest.
Hey, there we go.
I mean, that's not as awesome as it could have been, but it's still pretty awesome. Because now I can get a +1 counter on this guy when I go to combat. Is that what I'm doing? Am I going to combat? Yes, I'm going to combat. So that triggers. He does have trample because of... No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. He doesn't need power 4 greater to trample. He just has to be a creature I control.
Yeah.
So he's a 3/3 with trample. And I'm going to go to combat. And I'm going to swing. Yes. I'm swinging with a 3/3.
I will take 3. So I'm down to 18.
Okay. And then at post-main combat phase, tap 1 green for a friend, the Almighty Brush.
The Almighty.
So I'll make some room here for some stuff, and I'll pass to you.
To me. I'm going to play a Plains. So we get 6 land. I'm going to move to combat.
Okay.
I'm going to swing in with the 1/1.
I'm going to block with my 4/2.
Okay. I will tap for 5 to make it a 4/4.
Okay.
No trample on this. So they trade.
They trade.
And I do gain 4 life.
Yes, you do.
So I'm up to 22. It leaves me 1 mana. I'm going to pass turn to you.
Oh boy. Untap. So twice I've been in this scenario. But I can do this. I can tap 3 for the Wildwood Patrol. Triggers Garruk Uprising. I draw a
You
card.
do draw a card, yep.
For the love of St. Peter. I know I'm not in a bad position, but I just...
No,
a fourth land might be nice.
You know what I mean? Like, even with having that, with mana acceleration, it only has it once. Now, you're going to have a 4/4 on demand after this. But Mana Screw is Mana Screw. It's not, it doesn't matter whether or not you're still able to play cards. Mana Screw sucks. So...
I'm honestly surprised you didn't target that with your removal because it was tapped. And at the time, I only had the 2 land. Was it because it would have been a...
It's because that would have allowed you to keep searching for more cheap 4 power creatures, right? So I wanted to try to shut down 4 power when I thought I had an outside chance of doing it. Like, I knew there was one of these that was going to be able to be coming up.
Yeah.
But I thought, okay, well, maybe if I force a block or something like that. But at the time, I thought it made more sense. That card could have got out of hand just because it would allow you to keep searching, so...
And there's still a 4/3 protection from black. You know, had that going for it. Okay, so I did that. I'm going to go to combat.
Okay.
Like, do I want to attack with my character?
So when that happens, you put a +1/+1 on that, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
We're going to go to combat. Attack with a 4/4 and my 1/1.
So 5 in total?
Yeah.
So no shenanigans?
No shenanigans.
So I'm down from 22 to 17.
And then I pass to you.
Pass to me. Okay. Alrighty. I'm going to play a Plains. I'm going to tap for 5 and bring out the Aven Gagglemaster. So I'm going to gain 2 because it is a flyer, and it counts itself in that.
And you keep saying it without snickering when you say Gagglemaster. Which is...
It's an interesting name. I guess because it's a goose, right? It's a goose man. He's a goose warrior. He's a birdie goose warrior.
We call him Luis now?
What?
Luis Gooseman?
Oh my goodness. Very good. Very good. I'll now pass the turn.
Hold up, sir. Hold up.
Okay.
My Carotid, who taps for 2, is going to tap.
Oh, okay.
To add 2. To cast Ram Through. Ram Through. Target creature I control deals damage equal to its power to target creature I don't control. If the creature I control has trample, excess damage is dealt to its controllers instead. So I am going to target my Wildwood Patrol to deal 4 damage to your flyer.
Nice. And it does have trample.
Yeah.
So I'm also going to be taking 1 on top of that.
Yes.
So I'm down to 18.
And I think I cleared your blockers.
You did, yes.
All right. Bloop, bloop. Still don't think I have, like, Letha or anything with my board, but, you know. Gee, bus. Okay, so, once again, thank for that thing, because I have not drawn. And when I did those 5 cards, I think 2 of them actually were forests. So, I mean, that kind of reset. When I was able to look at those 5 cards, 3 were creatures, I think, and 2 were forests. So it wasn't like it was like all forests or something like that. So now I have to do this. I'm going to tap the Carotid for 2, and then tap 2 more for the creature, the Predatory Worm. It's 4/4 Vigilance, and as long as I control Garruk Planeswalker, it gets +2/+2. It, however, will trigger Garruk's Uprising, and I will draw a forest. Jeez, I'm not drawing a forest in that one either. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm still good. I don't know why I'm worried about discarding. Not like I'm drawing that many cards. I'm just not playing a land and a card each turn, so I'm worried, you know.
Yeah.
Just going to go to combat.
Sure.
Swing with the team. Go to combat. This will trigger.
That triggers, yes.
Up to 3. So this is now a 5/5. That back. So 5, 9, 10.
Okay. So, I have an interesting dilemma. I'm guessing. Here's the thing. I'm guessing that if you're bound to draw land anyways at some point, but if I take out that, you're stuck at 3 land, and I can't even say very few things can be played for 3, because you actually have, that can be played for 3. So yeah, I'm going to tap for 2, and I'm going to take out the biggest threat right now with another swift response. I'm going to take out the Beetle.
Okay. Beetle down.
So that's going to lower the amount of damage I'm taking to 5, which still puts me down to 13. I'm not liking my odds in this game. The Hunter is hungry.
But that's all I'm doing this turn, so I pass back to you.
Back to me. Well, I don't know. This is going to have to be an interesting card.
I'm just going to move that over there because it's not a creature. So I do have a 4/4 with Vigilance as a blocker.
Okay, so I'm going to pay 3, and I'm going to bring out the makeshift battalion so that I have a blocker. But that's still, I can still take a boatload of damage next turn. I'm going to pass the turn to you.
Okay. Untap stuffs here. Draw. I know,
man. At least one of the good thing is if your mana screwed but still winning, hopefully people in the comment section will be, I hate mana screw games. Because everyone hates mana screw games.
Yeah.
But if you still win with it, hey, that is a beautiful thing.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to tap 2.
Okay.
For ram through.
Oh, the humanity.
Yeah.
The humanity.
So we're going to target my predatory worm and that.
That is going to hit that. So it doesn't buff it. It just does the
it just does damage, but one
but
will
because
still...
it only has 2 power or 2 toughness.
2 toughness.
So I'm going to take 2 off the top.
Yeah.
Okay. So that puts me down to 11. Oh, 11. Oh.
Nope.
So close.
So we're going to combat. He has Vigilance. So that's 4, 5, and 4 is 9.
You're not going to swing into the little guy?
No, I'm going to tap that.
Titanic growth? Titanic growth, yeah.
So it doesn't, in theory, matter, but we'll target, because they'll have trample, so we'll still target the smallest guy.
No, that's great. So 8, 9, and then an additional 4 is 12.
Yeah.
No, 8. That's bad math, Ed. 8, 9, additional 4 is 13. There we go. So, yeah, that's enough. I just had a planes left.
I had a lot of cards.
Yeah.
Including 2 more of those 4 manas that I kept drawing when I had, like, I could get to 3 with that without a 4 power. So it was annoying.
The trample is so good. And again, like, the amazing thing with this is, like, it always sucks to have mana screw. But you I could not shut this down. Every single time I thought, okay, finally, I'm shutting this down.
It was shut down for one turn.
Things like the Wildwood Patrol.
Because you shut down for 1 turn, but it was still 1 + 2 was nothing like that, which still have to trigger this, which didn't draw me land. Or one time I think it did. One time it did.
Yeah. But once you have like the Beetle up to 4 on its own, once you have the Worm out, I mean, that's going to stay 4. And Vigilance and everything like that. And then that enchantment is absolutely wonderful.
It is.
But that's, I don't know how many draws you had.
That was my turn 3 too, I think. And I'm worried about taking, turn 1, or turn 2, I should say. Turn 1, no 1 draw. Turn 2, a mana dork, into turn 3, an enchantment. Like, not a big aggressive creature, but no matter what, as long as I can even get these guys out, this will always be drawing me a card.
Yeah.
And that's, especially in decks like this, where you can really burn through your cards quick.
Yeah.
Even drawing a couple extra cards. 2 or 3 over the game, and I think I did 4. Makes a huge difference. I mean, usually it's nicer when they're...
I do have one question for you. How many, when you drew, or when you got to look at the top cards of your deck, with that creature, how many were land?
2 or 3.
2 or 3, okay. Because here's the thing.
It was...
if I had known you
2.
weren't going to draw another land for the rest of the game, I probably would have gone for that. But I thought I could kill 2 birds with 1 stone by shutting that down at least half of the mana by killing that thing. But yeah, I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but I really wish,
Because these decks are built not to run out of land. There were 26, I think, lands, something like that.
There's
freak
an
of
overabundance.
cards.
Yeah, that is extremely rare.
Yes, but it wasn't like I even put 4 in the bottom. It was only 2 out of 5 card, which is literally, I think, about average. So everything before and after that was not average.
But without him,
yeah,
I mean, it would have been so frustrating for you. So, but there you go. This doesn't really surprise me. Like, the more I started playing with the deck, I think I even remember at the time, I can't be 100% sure, but wondering how this deck won. I think we had an especially bad matchup with this one, for it to push through. But I remember Garruk's being quite good.
well put together. Well,
yeah,
with the
for a
synergies.
Planeswalker deck as well. These are
Well,
not
yeah.
challenger decks. These are not like top tier decks.
But I mean, for 3 mana, 4/2 with trample, it
Those were killing me
synergizes so much.
They were killing me because they were such cheap, such cheap way of being able to activate a huge portion of your deck. So
how many are there? Are there?
I would
There's at
guess
least
there's
3.
Yeah,
But I mean, that's the thing with these decks. Normally, you don't always find a. There is a playset of those. I'm impressed by that.
Which gives a consistency for that deck. And any other deck, that would be, why would that be in there? But for this deck, with so much that relies on Power 4, super useful. So, but there we go. So Garruk is going to advance. He is going to take on Teferi, who has had absolutely no competition whatsoever because he's been able to go by to the very end. And then the winner of that matchup is going to go to the finals against... I don't remember who. I think Liliana, but I could be 100% wrong. No, Elsbeth is going to be is definitely going to be in the finals. So whoever wins against Garruk and Teferi is going to square off against Elsbeth, and that is going to be the finals of the 4th season of the Planeswalker Deck Showdown. But still, we have that next match to go. Travis, anything you'd like to say?
No.
We tried to keep the chatter down to a minimum this time. I'm going to try to elicit. I'm going to try to enlist, there we go, Travis into maybe just having just like a talk session at some point. A podcast, if you will, where we cast our pods.
Complain about Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, or just in general. I would like to really just have like because most of the gaming that we've been doing now, we're doing a lot of tabletop board games.
Yeah.
Non-card related board games. And I would love to talk about that because that's something I'd like to add to the channel, or even just, we also are video game enthusiasts. So yeah, maybe we talk about them newfangled computer type games. So, but yeah, I would love to actually have like a sit down conversation. Maybe get Steve on the horn as well too, or whatever. Now
Steve's a big time podcaster.
Yeah,
podcast when you're full video.
He does a movie
review,
primarily critical, which is like a movie podcast type of thing that he does, where they watch whatever movie it doesn't, not newer movies, just whatever movies.
Yeah.
And they talk about it for a while. So I've actually been on it a couple times. Or once? Once? I think once, maybe twice, but probably just once. And it's Steve's always fun to listen to. So maybe we'll bring him out for this as well too, if he's available. Busy guy. Anyways, Travis, anything you'd like to say?
No. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. And thank you guys for coming into my home and watching and enjoying, hopefully, the Planeswalker Deck Showdown. And we'll see you all in the next episode.